Hello! How to plan a trip to Japan? In this video, I will give you tips on how to plan your next holiday or travel to Japan. My name is Martina. I'm living in Japan. Japan is my home because my husband is Japanese. First thing first, who is traveling? Are you traveling alone, with company, or even with your family? Well, if you're alone, you are more flexible than traveling with a friend or family. The first thing I do when I travel to a country, I check the public holiday, because with that you actually determine the peak season or the most expensive season to travel to that country. Here the yellow dots show you that there are public holidays in Japan. I use Macintosh iCalendar, and you can search online for public holidays of Japan and subscribe to the calendar. For me, the most important holiday in Japan is Shogatsu, in beginning of January. Then the Golden Week, end of April, beginning of May. And after that, Obon. This is in the middle of August. For us, it is the most expensive time to travel. Yes, and then we are coming to the seasons. I mean, skiing starts basically from beginning of January until beginning of May. It depends all on the region. For the skiing season, I don't see any reason to avoid any times except for Shogatsu. Then comes the cherry blossom. I think peak season is April, and to avoid the end of April and beginning of May. So then comes June. Of course, there is also some blooming, but it is also rainy season. July and August, it is sizzling hot in Japan, and here of course avoid the Obon time, or if you don't like hot weather, avoid to come during the hot season. So one of my favorite season is autumn, and the weather is getting cooler and you get the beautiful autumn colors. In Japan you can find maps about cherry blossom or autumn colors, when and where, and this is a very good guide if you want to see one or another. In December, in the moment I cannot think about it. Usually in Niigata there is no snow in December. It all starts end of December, but of course it happens. And maybe in Hokkaido you can start already skiing. Is Japan safe? The short answer is yes. However, there are areas where you should be a little bit more aware, like Kabukicho in Tokyo. People are still warning for this area, but this was 20 or 30 years ago. It was really wild. Today I don't see it. However, I'm not going out until middle of the night, so yeah. I mean, what I always do, I have always a money belt around my waist, so nobody can, if they take my handbag, they basically get nothing except my handbag. Japan is super safe. I mean, people will run after you if they see that you forgot your bag on the train or something. On Facebook, in some chat rooms, they say, oh, it's not safe, this guy was hitting on me and following me. I never experienced it, but it is in the newspaper. However, I think you will rather see a drunken salaryman than any crime on your holiday trip to Japan. There are many search engines to find cheap flights. I usually book 2 months in advance, but there are many people who are booking 4 months in advance. My experience is when I fly to Europe or from Europe, I like to use Opodo, but Skyscanner is also working very well, and other search engines for flights and hotels. Here is an example for travel from Sydney to Tokyo, 14 days for one person. So I have an example for budget, general traveling and luxury. So the flight for budget is almost 800 Australian dollar. So the next one for general is 1041 Australian dollar and then 1177. Or if you want to go up business class, this is all up to you. So then I have accommodation, transportation, food, sightseeing, internet, shopping and insurance. For the budget traveling for 14 days, I come up to 2,361 Australian dollar. For general, I would go a little bit higher in accommodation. Transportation, I would buy a railway pass, whereby for budget I most probably use the bus most of the time. Yeah, food I would go also a little bit higher, and shopping maybe. Everything else would stay the same, like sightseeing, internet and insurance. There you are almost at the double the price, 4,268. So, and then for luxury, well, you can go as much as high up as you want to, as much as you can afford. So I came up for a more luxury stay for 140 Australian dollar a night. This would come up to 5,724, and in this case I would use the railway pass for 2 weeks. Yes, many people asking this question, and for me it comes also with where are you going, what is your travel route. For example, if you go from Tokyo to Osaka, Kyoto, Hiroshima and coming back, flying back from Tokyo, or do you want to go up to Hokkaido, I think this is definitely worth it. However, I think since you are the first time in Japan, you should stay at every destination 3 days. This is for 14 days, 5 destinations. So I would say it's close to worth it to buy a Japan Railway Pass. However, to calculate this, there's another great site, Hyperdia. You can see, for example, how much it is from Tokyo to Kyoto. And in this case, something around 13,000 yen. So now, actually, you have to start planning your trip, where you want to go, what do you want to see. The standard trip for first-comers to Japan is Tokyo, Osaka, Nara, Kyoto, Hiroshima, and then maybe Kurashiki, or I don't know, maybe you even want to go up to Hokkaido. Well, for that you need to calculate with Hyperdia and then compare the price to the JR Railpass. So in this case, Tokyo Kyoto costs you 13,910 yen. If you go only to Kyoto and that's it, and you would buy a railway pass for 29,110, it's very, very clear that it is too expensive. But usually you stay up to 3 days. Also, my recommendation is to stay 3 days at each destination. Another must-have is the suica card. Assuming you just took the bus from Narita Airport to Tokyo, and you can use after that the suica card for all kinds of transport in Tokyo. It's a card you put 500 yen deposit on it and top it up with any amount you want to. because let's say for 3 days you need around 5,000 yen. And you can use it also in Osaka, and I think also in Kyoto. And this is a very good alternative. I think I now answered most of the important questions. Well, the only thing what I could talk about is what to pack. But in this case, I will refer you to my video, June in Japan, rainy season. There I mentioned already how is the weather during June, July. And of course, the other seasons, just take a look at my video. What I mentioned, that until maybe end of March, it's quite cold. You can go still skiing, depending on the area you are in Japan. And if you have anything where you think I should mention it, please let me know in the comment section. I also have videos with travel routes in Japan. You might want to take a look at this if you are coming the first time to Japan. I have a first-timer Japan visitor guide, which places you should visit. But Japan is very crowded, so maybe you want to take another route, an alternative. I also have this, and I will stick it up here. Okay, see you, bye bye.